Every primary is different, though. You always have a different mix of candidates. Some have done it before, some haven't. Politics are always evolving, and the electorate and the important issues change too. Even so, there are some constants that we have here in New Hampshire. Candidates get out and meet the people. They show up. They engage in the traditional process here, not just at the local, but the personal level. But there's one variable in this primary that has shaken up the traditional calculus of how all of this works, and that variable is former President Donald Trump. He's the first former president to run again for the White House in the modern political era, and he's got a major populist political movement behind him. So for about a year, we've gone through the normal primary process, with former President Trump keeping himself at a distance, campaigning a lot like we might see an incumbent president campaign. And now that the first contest is over, we have one result that shows us the polling was right on. In Iowa, a very solid majority of Republicans do not want to move on from Donald Trump. Now, what does that mean for the contest here? Iowa may be more solidly pro-Trump, but there is still a strong contingent of Trump support here in New Hampshire that should not be underestimated. Even with the large number of undeclared voters who are likely to vote in this Republican primary, Trump still has his support here, and the polls have shown it is almost locked in between 40 and 50%, not too far below his share in Iowa. Now, Nikki Haley has emerged as the leading Trump alternative candidate, and she has the backing of Governor Chris Sununu, who has consistently won over the exact swing voters Haley needs to do well here. Sununu's game plan is very similar to the one his father, former Governor John H. Sununu, used for George H.W. Bush in 1988. Get the candidate in front of as many people as possible, creating a real connection that could pay off on Election Day. The question for the next 6 days is how much can Haley or Ron DeSantis do to connect, to really hit home with the voters here, when there's already a candidate who has a well-established, long-term relationship with the Republican base here, former President Trump.
Okay, Adam, and when we talk about the election night itself, News 9 WMUR collectively, we will be watching these numbers ourselves to report the results and call the races.
Yeah, that's right. We will be gathering numbers from the Secretary of State's office and clerks around New Hampshire, including those write-in ballots, which are largely going to be for President Biden. We're only going to report numbers that we have confirmed ourselves. We will not report any returns until all the polls close at 8 o'clock.